Welcome back to the channel, Sparkles. Today, we're going to explore the top 4 most valuable Mercury Dime coins from the United States of America. These classic one-dime silver coins are highly sought after by collectors, especially when they feature rare mint errors, unique conditions, and different color shades that make them stand out from the rest. These Mercury Dimes are not just beautiful pieces of American history, but they've also become major players in the coin collecting and investor world. Some of these rare silver dimes can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their year, mint mark, and condition. Money bag. So if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is definitely for you. Backhand index pointing right. Let's get started with the very first coin on our list. The Mercury Dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, is one of the most beautiful and iconic coins ever minted in the United States. Among its many issues, the 1925 D Mercury Dime holds a special place in the world of numismatics, not only because of its age and silver composition, but because of the aura of rarity and wealth that surrounds it. Struck in Denver during a period when America was still recovering from the aftermath of World War I and entering the Roaring Twenties, this coin embodies both the elegance of early 20th century design and the hidden fortunes that today's collectors dream of uncovering. The Mercury Dime series was created by sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, who sought to give America a coin that symbolized freedom, strength, and progress. On the obverse, he portrayed liberty with a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, which led to the coin being nicknamed Mercury, after the Roman god with winged sandals and helmet. The reverse carries a fasces, a bundle of rods and axe, representing unity and authority, wrapped with an olive branch symbolizing peace. In every detail, the design blends strength with beauty, making the coin not just money but art. When we turn to the 1925 D issue, the history becomes even richer. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility that was still relatively new in the early 20th century, and known for producing smaller quantities than its Philadelphia counterpart. The Denver Mint mark, the small d tucked discreetly on the reverse, transforms an ordinary coin into something special. Collectors know that a 1925 D, especially in pristine condition, is no ordinary find. It's a gateway to unimaginable value. What makes this particular dime so extraordinary in today's market is not just its age or silver content, but its scarcity in higher grades. Over time, most 1925 D dimes were lost to circulation, worn down from decades of use, or melted during the silver recalls of later years. To find one today in superb condition, shining, sharp, and nearly flawless, is like stumbling across buried treasure. Such a coin could command hundreds of thousands, even millions, in the right auction, elevating a collector overnight from ordinary to legendary. Silver itself has always carried mystique. In the 1920s, silver coins were more than mere pocket change. They were tangible wealth in a time when paper currency still faced distrust. Each 1925 D Mercury Dime contained 90% silver, giving an intrinsic value far beyond its 10-cent denomination. But today, its worth is no longer about silver alone. It's about rarity, history, and insatiable hunger of collectors for coins that connect them to the romance of the past. Imagine holding a 1925 D Mercury Dime in your hand. You are not just touching silver, you are touching a piece of 1920s America. It may have been carried by a flapper in a beaded dress, spent in a jazz club during the golden age of swing, or tucked away in the pocket of a worker during the booming industrial expansion. Each scratch, each gleam of silver, tells a story that adds to its mystique. That living history is one of the reasons collectors are willing to pay unimaginable sums for it. The mythology of coins like the 1925 D Mercury Dime lies in their ability to turn ordinary people into overnight millionaires. There are stories whispered in the numismatic community of coins discovered in forgotten boxes, old drawers, or dusty family estates, only to be appraised at values that could buy houses, cars, or even empires. The 1925 D has that same reputation. It is a coin that can alter destiny if you happen to stumble across the right variety in the right condition. At coin auctions, the atmosphere can become electric when a rare Mercury Dime appears on the block. Collectors know how few exist in perfect or near-perfect condition. Prices escalate rapidly, bids flying from all corners, until the final hammer falls at a number that feels almost unreal. It is in these moments that the legend of the 1925 D coin grows, transforming it into more than currency. It becomes a symbol of fortune itself. But what elevates the story even further is the artistry. Unlike modern coins stamped by machines with cold precision, the Mercury Dime was born in an era when craftsmanship was still celebrated. The delicate details of Liberty's face, the wings on her cap, and the fasces on the reverse required care and artistry to strike well. Coins struck at the Denver Mint often show subtle variations in sharpness, and finding one with perfect details preserved is like discovering a diamond in the rough. Collectors also speak of the emotional weight this coin carries. For many, it is not simply about wealth. It's about holding a bridge between generations. The 1925 D connects us to a time when America was roaring into modernity, when silver coins jingled in every pocket, and when artistry mattered even in something as ordinary as money. To own one is to possess not just silver, but the dreams, struggles, and triumphs of an entire era. The possibility of unimaginable fortune, however, is what grips the imagination most powerfully. To think that a dime, something once used for a cup of coffee or a streetcar ride, could today be worth millions is almost unbelievable. Yet, that is the magic of numismatics. The 1925 D Mercury Dime is more than an artifact. It is a golden ticket, a reminder that hidden treasures still exist in the most unlikely places. In the end, the story of the 1925 D Mercury Dime is not just about silver or scarcity. It is about beauty, history, and the intoxicating promise of wealth waiting in the palm of your hand. It is about the idea that fortune can hide in plain sight, resting in a forgotten coin jar or tucked away in a dusty attic. For those who dream of riches, this coin offers more than value. It offers hope, mystery, and the thrilling possibility that your life could change forever with a single discovery. Next up, the Mercury Dime, also known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, remains one of the most fascinating coins in American history, admired for its artistic beauty and legendary reputation among collectors. When we focus on the 1928 D Mercury Dime, struck in Denver, the story becomes even more magnetic. This coin does not simply carry 10 cents of value. It carries the weight of history, artistry, and fortune. For some, it has been the very coin that could transform an ordinary day into an extraordinary destiny, especially when discovered in pristine, untouched condition. The 1920s were a decade of bold change in the United States. Known as the Roaring Twenties, this was an age of jazz, automobiles, cinema, and booming industry. Coins minted during this era were not only practical instruments of commerce, but they also reflected the cultural confidence of a rising nation. The 1928 D Mercury Dime was minted right in the heart of this golden decade, at the Denver Mint, a facility still growing in its production capacity. Denver mintages were generally smaller than Philadelphia's, which added an extra layer of rarity to any coin struck there. That small D mint mark on the reverse instantly transforms this dime into a sought-after treasure. The design itself, created by Adolph A. Wyman in 1916, is often called one of the most beautiful in all of American numismatics. The obverse shows Liberty crowned with a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. Collectors quickly nicknamed it the Mercury Dime because of its resemblance to the Roman god Mercury. On the reverse is the fasces, a bundle of rods bound with an axe, representing unity and strength, wrapped by an olive branch symbolizing peace. The symbolism was striking during a time when the world was still healing from the Great War and seeking prosperity. The 1928 D Mercury Dime is highly desired today because so few have survived in superior condition. Circulation wore down many of them as they passed from hand to hand during the bustling commerce of the 1920s and into the hardships of the Great Depression. Others were melted for their silver content when the nation went through times of crisis. To uncover one today, shining and sharp in detail, is like finding a relic from a hidden vault of American history. Collectors prize such discoveries, bidding fiercely for them at auctions and driving their value to heights unimaginable for something once worth just a dime. Part of the allure of this coin lies in its 90% silver composition. In 1928, silver coins were trusted and respected as real money. Holding such a coin in your palm then meant you were holding a piece of wealth with weight and permanence. Today, though, its value extends far beyond silver. It is a combination of scarcity, condition, and history that makes the 1928 Mercury Dime a life-changing discovery, one that could potentially sell for hundreds of thousands, even millions, under the right conditions. The Denver Mint itself plays an important role in this coin's narrative. Founded in 1906, the Denver Mint was still relatively young by 1928, but it already earned a reputation for producing coins that often had lower mintage figures than their Philadelphia counterparts. This limited supply meant that any Denver-issued Mercury Dime already had a smaller population to begin with. Over time, as many disappeared from circulation or were melted, the surviving specimens became even more elusive, making them symbols of fortune for lucky collectors. Imagine stumbling upon a 1928 Mercury Dime in a forgotten coin jar, an old family collection, or a dusty attic. What looks like a small silver coin could, in fact, be the key to unimaginable wealth. Stories circulate in the collecting world of people who discovered such treasures and walked into auction houses only to leave as millionaires. The 1928 carries that same magical potential. It can transform lives with its rarity and value. When placed on the auction block, the energy in the room becomes electrifying. Collectors know how scarce high-grade 1928 Mercury Dimes are, and competition drives the price higher and higher. The final hammer strike sometimes lands at sums that seem surreal for a dime, but such is the power of history and scarcity, factors that elevate this coin into the realm of legend. The artistry of Weinman's design also cannot be ignored. Coins like the 1928 were struck in an age when beauty mattered even in the smallest details of everyday objects. The delicately carved features of Liberty's face, the feathers of the wing cap, the fine lines of the fasces, all make this dime more like a miniature sculpture than simple currency. Collectors are not merely buying silver. They are buying art history and the symbolism of an era. For historians and collectors alike, the 1928 Mercury Dime also tells the story of America's resilience. By 1928, the nation was reaching the height of the Roaring Decade, not yet aware of the crash and depression looming ahead. Every coin struck that year carries with it the optimism and energy of that era, even as it silently bore witness to the challenges soon to come. That historical context only enhances its allure, reminding us of the cycles of prosperity and hardship that coins often outlast. What makes the 1928 Mercury Dime truly captivating is its ability to transform destiny. An object that once bought a loaf of bread or a newspaper could today pay for mansions, luxury cars, or entire estates. This contrast between its humble origins and modern-day value is what grips the imagination. It shows us that fortune hides in the most ordinary of places, waiting to be discovered. In the end, the 1928 Mercury Dime is not just a coin. It is a legend of silver, scarcity, and the dreams of collectors. It carries within it the spirit of a nation on the rise, the artistry of one of America's greatest sculptors, and the tantalizing promise of overnight wealth. If you ever hold one in your hands, remember, you are not simply holding a dime. You are holding history, beauty, and the possibility of fortune that could change your life forever. Next up, the Mercury Dime, officially called the Wing Liberty Head Dime, stands as one of the most beloved treasures in American numismatic history. Among these, the 1944 Mercury Dime carries a special place, not only for its artistry, but also for the intriguing history surrounding its creation. Minted at the Denver Mint in the final years of World War II, this silver coin represents far more than its face value of 10 cents. It embodies resilience, hope, and craftsmanship from a period when the entire world was caught in the whirlwind of global conflict. Today, collectors and historians alike see this coin as a potential gateway to unimaginable wealth. For under the right conditions, it can turn from a common piece of change into a fortune worth millions. The year 1944 was one of the most pivotal years of the 20th century. The United States was fully engaged in World War II, with soldiers fighting overseas while families back home supported the war effort through rationing, labor, and sacrifice. Despite the wartime strains, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins for everyday commerce, ensuring that the economy could still function smoothly. The Mercury Dime of 1944 reflects this blend of beauty and utility, created in a time when every resource was precious, yet the artistry of America's coinage was never compromised. Designed by the master sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, the Mercury Dime was already hailed as a miniature masterpiece by the time the 1944 D was struck. The obverse shows liberty in profile, adorned with a wing cap symbolizing freedom of thought. Collectors nicknamed it the Mercury Dime because of its resemblance to the Roman god Mercury. On the reverse, the fasces, a bundle of rods bound with an axe, represents unity and strength, while the olive branch surrounding it symbolizes peace. This combination of war and peace could not have been more fitting in 1944, when the world was yearning for the end of conflict and the beginning of peace. The D mint mark found on the reverse of the 1944 D dime is what sets it apart. Struck in Denver, this coin had a mintage smaller than its Philadelphia counterpart, giving it a scarcer appeal. Many of these coins entered circulation immediately, wearing down as they passed through countless hands during the bustling war economy. As a result, pristine examples, those untouched by wear, with sharp details and glowing luster, are exceedingly rare today. These are the coins that command astronomical values at auctions, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of thousands or even millions when discovered in flawless condition. The coin's composition of 90% silver adds another layer to its desirability. In a world where paper money can inflate or lose value, silver coins retain intrinsic worth. Holding in 1944, D dime was holding a small piece of wealth that could endure through generations. Today, with silver itself valued highly, this coin is worth more than its original denomination just in metal content. But its historical importance and rarity amplify its market value far beyond the reach of silver alone. The Denver Mint, responsible for striking the 1944 D dime, had a long history of producing coins with limited mintages compared to Philadelphia. Collectors often prize Denver issues because they are harder to come by in top condition. Each surviving 1944 D dime in brilliant uncirculated state tells a story of luck and preservation, as if it had been set aside in a drawer or hidden in a collection at the very moment of its birth, spared from decades of wear. In terms of history, the 1944 D Mercury Dime is deeply symbolic. That year witnessed the Allied invasion of Normandy, D-Day, which turned the tide of the war in favor of freedom and democracy. While soldiers stormed the beaches of Europe, back home coins like the Mercury Dime exchanged hands in grocery stores, train stations, and factories. The coin was an everyday companion in extraordinary times, and today it feels like a silent witness to those monumental events. Collectors are often captivated by the stories these coins tell. A 1944 D dime in mint state condition isn't just a shiny piece of silver. It's a time capsule from the era of victory gardens, war bonds, and letters sent across oceans. Owning such a coin is like holding a slice of 1944 itself, a tangible reminder of both struggle and triumph. When such a coin appears in an auction house, the atmosphere becomes electric. Bidders know that the 1944 D Mercury Dime, particularly in its highest grades, is one of those treasures that can redefine a collection. Competition drives the price skyward, and the final hammer often lands on a figure that would have seemed unimaginable to those who once spent a coin on bread or milk. It is here that the humble dime transforms into a symbol of fortune. The artistry of Weinman's design contributes heavily to this transformation, even under magnification. The delicate lines of Liberty's face, the feathers on her wing cap, and the intricate texture of the fasces and olive branch stand out. These details elevate the dime from mere currency to a work of art in miniature, cherished across decades. The contrast between the coin's original role and its modern value is breathtaking. Once a tool of commerce worth 10 cents, the 1944 D Mercury Dime can now be worth thousands or millions under the right conditions. This leap is not just about silver or rarity. It's about the enduring allure of history, artistry, and the human desire to hold on to symbols of resilience and hope. In conclusion, the 1944 The Mercury Dime is a legend of numismatics. It embodies the artistry of Weinman, the strength of America during wartime, and the tantalizing promise of life-changing wealth. For the lucky individual who holds such a coin in pristine condition, it is not merely money. It is a bridge to history, a masterpiece of design, and a potential fortune that could alter destiny overnight. If you encounter one, hold it close, for you may be holding the key to a story and a treasure unlike any other. Next up, the Mercury Dime of 1940, particularly those struck at the San Francisco Mint and bearing the S Mint mark, is more than just a piece of pocket change from decades gone by. It is a coin that captures a fascinating slice of American history and, under the right circumstances, can command a value so staggering that it could change an owner's life overnight. The idea that a dime, worth just 10 cents when it was minted, can now be worth millions is both incredible and inspiring, and this is why the 1940 S Mercury Dime continues to stir the imagination of collectors and dreamers alike. The United States in 1940 was standing on the threshold of dramatic change. Europe was already engulfed in World War II, and although America had not yet entered the conflict, the nation was preparing for its role on the global stage. Factories were running at full speed, cities were alive with anticipation and worry, and people carried coins like the Mercury Dime daily to buy bread, milk, or newspaper. The 1940 S Mercury Dime became a silent participant in these times, a reminder of a country balancing on the edge of peace and war. The Mercury Dime was designed by Adolph A. Weinman, one of the great sculptors of American coinage. On the obverse, Liberty wears a winged cap, a powerful symbol of freedom of thought and spirit. Because the portrait resembled the Roman god Mercury, the public quickly gave the coin its enduring nickname. On the reverse, the fasces, a bundle of rods tied together with an axe, stands for unity and strength, while the olive branch entwined around it offers hope for peace. For 1940, this symbolism was profound. A strong America prepared for challenges but still yearning for peace. The S Mint mark, located on the reverse near the base of the fasces, shows that this dime was struck at the San Francisco Mint. San Francisco coins from this period are especially desirable because their mintages were usually smaller than those produced in Philadelphia, making them rarer in top condition. With millions of coins struck in 1940, most circulated heavily and wore down quickly. But those rare few that survived in pristine condition, with full details and dazzling silver luster, are the ones that today are valued at unimaginable levels. The coin's composition of 90% silver further adds to its significance. At the time, silver coins were an everyday necessity, but over the decades their intrinsic value has soared. What once jingled in the pockets of everyday Americans now represents tangible wealth, and when combined with the artistry and rarity of a coin like the 1940 S Mercury Dime, this intrinsic silver worth becomes only the foundation of a much greater numismatic treasure. Collectors prize the 1940 S Dime because of its beauty, scarcity, and the stories it tells. San Francisco Mint coins often show distinctive striking qualities, and specialists hunt for examples with crisp details, especially on the fasces on the reverse. A fully struck coin with no wear, preserved in high mint state condition, is the kind of piece that can ignite bidding wars and auctions. When such a specimen comes to market, the price can soar into the stratosphere, sometimes reaching figures that seem almost impossible for a 10-cent coin. Beyond value, the 1940 S Mercury Dime is a historical witness. It passed to the hands of ordinary Americans who were working long shifts in factories, children saving coins in jars for candy or war stamps, and families buying groceries during uncertain times. Each coin carries whispers of the lives it touched. That sense of connection across time adds to its allure, making it more than just a collectible. It is a link between generations. The San Francisco Mint itself had a reputation for producing coins that captured the resilience of the West Coast. During the 1940s, it played a crucial role in ensuring the flow of coinage across a rapidly growing nation. The S Mint mark became a symbol of that region's contribution to American economic and cultural life, and owning a coin with that mark feels like owning a piece of that identity. When a 1940 S Mercury Dime appears under the bright lights of an auction, the atmosphere transforms. Collectors, investors, and historians lean forward, eager to own a piece of American artistry and history. As bids climb higher and higher, the humble dime reveals its true nature, not as change or a candy bar, but as a crown jewel in the world of numismatics. In that moment, the coin embodies fortune, history, and timeless beauty. The artistry of Wyman's design ensures that even 80 years later, the Mercury Dime feels fresh and modern. The flowing hair of Liberty, the sharp wings on her cap, the intricate rods of the fasces. All these details remind us why the Mercury Dime is often called one of the most beautiful U.S. coins ever struck. For the 1940, as in particular, those details, when perfectly preserved, transformed the coin into a masterpiece worth more than its weight in silver or its face value as money. The most stunning fact about the 1940 Mercury Dime is its journey from pocket change to potential fortune. A coin once used casually in daily life is now capable of commanding prices in the millions for rare, flawless specimens. This transformation highlights the magic of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and beauty converge to create something truly priceless. For the lucky finder, the 1940 Dime is not only wealth, it is a symbol of destiny. In conclusion, the 1940 Mercury Dime is a testament to how small things can hold great power. Born in a time of uncertainty, designed with brilliance, and preserved by chance, it has become one of the most valuable treasures in numismatic history. For anyone who holds one today, it is not simply a silver coin. It is a beacon of history, artistry, and unimaginable fortune, a reminder that even the smallest piece of metal can carry the power to change a life forever.